Yeah, babe. Oh, no, it's good.
Chilling?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
I think we maybe look up.
You sure?
I can't believe
Go
he
ahead,
lost
go
his
ahead.
phone.
I'm live right now.
Because I know my computer's a tint on it because I'm always on it, so I don't want to like fuck up the nose.
phone.
But it looks good.
Hold on, I just gotta catch. I load up.
Damn, it's slow.
Yeah, it's my laptop. We're in like the worst spot for Wi-Fi.
I think my Wi-Fi's pretty good. Right?
Not in the not in the booth. There's people in here too.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys?
It looks good on your end.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Is it warmer?
Well, I'm trying to wait for mine to come in on 1080, but I'll check my phone. Well, I'm trying to wait for mine to come in.
Whoa.
Yeah, make it brighter.
I need to stop saying whoa.
You said whoa.
It keeps coming in late.
It's super pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I think it is. You're right. It is. No, 'cause
I
I
might just
changed
have
it
to
to
catch up.
1080.
Oh, yeah.
This is how crisp we can get. It's not the crazy crispiest,
It's crisp
but it
enough.
makes it crisp. So then chat.
So I'm trying to make sure everybody still looks good live.
Yo,
Alright, cool.
DVNM. Venom. Say what's up. Go ahead. You can pop in and say what's up. We also have Beth saying what's up. Hello, Beth.
What's up?
Beth is
What's up, Beth?
friend of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Beth.
That's my
I don't
aunt.
want to like say her last name.
Yeah, my family's hella supportive. I told them about it, so they're going to be tuning in.
Oh, let me mute this one.
Yeah, my family's hella supportive. I told them about it, so they're going to be tuning in. What, so we don't hear ourselves?
Yeah.
That's for the better. I don't like this way my voice sounds recorded.
Yeah. I switch up between like up here to see ourselves and make sure we're chilling. Like give a good side
Yeah.
swipe, and I go down for the chat.
Send me the link.
Send you the link. Check your messages.
Send everybody the link.
I put it on Snap. I still got to put it on Instagram.
Yeah, who should I send the link to? Everybody.
I just be texting people at one point. I'm just
Can
like,
I put it on Twitter?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
All right, I'm about to make a story.
All right, bet.
All right, guys, just went live on the Cube Talk podcast. Got Kid Carol here with me. We're gonna be starting the questions very soon. I have the link in the bio. Click it to tune in. Good.
It's slanted.
Go fix it. Trust you. True. I have yet to put like a solid thing under it. That's very
Yeah,
smart.
could we take that again?
Yeah.
I was not prepared. Keep hitting my head.
I left it at the crib.
I gotta send this to Art Twitter. Use my secret weapon. Hold on.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Should you admit that?
Oh.
In the video?
Nah,
Ready?
it's not a secret anymore.
DNA field and the law of resonance.
My hair is crazy right now. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, guys. Here
What's
at the
up,
Cube Talk.
Here at the Cube Talk.
Hey, guys. I'm here with Kid Carol. Did you see the mic go down?
No.
The mic just like slid down on me. Oh, I'll say this one.
Quick promo before we start talking about art.
True, we are live right now.
We
They
are
seeing
live
this.
right now.
Hi, guys. Live right now on the Cube Talk podcast with Kid Carol.
What's up, guys?
Tune in, click the link in my bio, and come chat. Thanks.
We're not even gonna address it. It's up.
Nah, it's up. Nah, because I can take it right down after, and it's all right. But like everyone here already saw it, so I
What's
can't,
up, guys?
can't run away from it.
You want to introduce it?
Yeah. So we're gonna start diving into it.
Okay.
So this is officially the start of the Cube Talk. Kid Carol. Kid Carol.
Right.
I feel like people can see you and they'll see you and they see Kid Carol now. You know what I mean? You've definitely made a statement with your name in these past couple months with all of the art that you've been putting on clothes, on paintings, on prints. So I feel as though I don't have to introduce you, but for the sake of those who don't know,
Nah, you have to introduce me.
this
I'm
is
still, I'm still growing. I'm still Excuse me, but I appreciate that though. Yeah.
No problem. This is Kid Carol.
Hello guys. My name's Kid Carol. I go by Carol to my friends. Carolyn if we're being proper, but I'd prefer not. And yeah, so you want me to just talk about myself? Like anything in specific we should start with?
Before we jump into it, because I almost like I had a whole debate if I could say this to you or not. Like if
Oh,
you
just
brought it
send
up.
it.
So can people call you Casey? Do you feel a way if someone came up to you and was like, yo, Casey?
Oh, KC.
Yeah.
Oh. No one's ever tried to do that.
Mm.
I could fuck with it.
Mm.
It might have to stick, but I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't gone through
I'll
that
try
experience
it.
yet
Yeah,
to
no
know
one's
for
ever
sure.
KC'd me yet, but it could be a thing.
There was a moment when because you snuck up on me, I was like, "Oh, is that Kid Carol?" You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
say Kid Carol all the time now. And I
Mhm.
was just like, can I say KC? Can I
KC.
be like, yo, KC? But I didn't want you to be like, yo, don't do that.
No, that could be a thing, future like branding too. KC, keep it simple. I like it.
Cool initials, like cool acronyms are like real essential in the game. I feel like a lot of like major brands like thrive on the cool acronyms.
Mhm.
Like QC.
Yeah.
Wow, no. I always like get into the moment where I think about them, then I'll leave like my head.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas for clothes that I want to make in the future that have nothing to do with my name, but would just be like a couple initials. Like I'm not gonna give them away because it's all like future plans. But I have thought about that. I thought that could be really like easy to remember and just like sticks out in people's minds. And
Mhm.
like you get like the right color palette, the right models, and you create the whole look.
Clothes, right? I've seen
Yes,
you been getting
clothes.
very into them. You're wearing Kid Carol merch right
Yeah, I
now.
actually made this today. I get really hype about like everything artistic if you can't tell. So I've had plans for maybe like over a year of putting my art on clothes, and I started doing it in the fall sort of. But I
Right.
tried a couple different approaches, and
What was the first approach like?
it was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of trial and error because I'd seen people paint on clothes, but I tried a couple different paints to like get the best quality, and I wasn't really liking my results. But like I would still put a couple things out because I was like, whatever, like you have to start somewhere.
Right.
So I started like painting on clothes, and then I moved to heat transfer, so like printing on heat transfer paper and then like heat pressing it to a piece of clothing, which is good, but it's not the best. So like I'm always trying to find like the
Throughout this,
better
was it?
way.
And throughout this was still like Kid Carol brand with the koi fish and the.
No, I did. If you remember, I did like these skybox sweatshirts. I drew up something on my iPad that I printed out and heat pressed on some crew necks, and that went over pretty well. And what I'm doing now, because I'm trying to find better quality, is I got embroidered patches made. So I'm now using the embroidered patches on stuff, and I want to order a couple different styles and it's just a better quality product. So I'm like more confident putting it out,
I agree 100% with the embroidery, like the embroidery decision.
Mhm.
I have a brand that I represent a lot. It's called Scary Kid.
Mhm.
And they make like the anime eye clothes that I
I've
wear a
seen you
lot.
wear them, yeah.
It's all embroidery, and I didn't realize like how nice it is to wear those types of clothes in comparison to like print clothes or regular t-shirts. So I definitely agree that embroidery just kind of gives more of like I don't know, more of a classier feel, more of a standout feel.
Mhm. It lasts longer, it looks clean. I went through a third party to get them, which is the only thing I don't like. I want to reach a point as an artist where like make, create, and like produce almost all of it, but like I did go through a third
From
party to get
scratch,
these.
like from the start to
Yeah,
end.
like I want to learn how to embroider, I want to learn how to what's it called? Screen printing? Screen printing. I wanna learn how to do that. That's, like, a way better quality shirt rather than, like, a heat press, so I would like to learn how to do that, but,
Where's all your knowledge coming from now? Like, where are you learning all of the clothing
uh,
techniques that you're
I
incorporating?
started with the painting just because like, I already paint, so it was just, like, self-taught, and then I got the heat press idea from a couple people on Art Twitter. That's like, I keep saying art Twitter. Art Twitter is a thing. It's a real thing, and it's a huge network of creatives, most of which are really supportive. And I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people and just like bounce back ideas and knowledge. And like, it was a lot of trial and error, which is why I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have invested so much time into the heat press and stuff because I should be learning how to screen print because that's the better quality product. But like, it's just trial and error. So like, I use like YouTube, you know, to teach myself stuff. All my friends on art Twitter that would ask questions, and I forget how I came across the embroidered patches, but I was like, yeah, this was a good investment.
Yeah. You saying art Twitter kind of like solidifies my belief that you have this like cult following now on
I
Twitter.
would say that it's just like, go ahead.
They show love.
They show love.
Like they're
like,
there for you when you need it. They're like,
mhm.
yo, I just
If I
put this
tweet
print
good
out.
morning, boom, I got 10 different people from all over the world telling me good morning, and you know,
And the
I could,
energy,
yeah, the energy
so
is
genuine.
very genuine. I've met some people that it's more often than not the people are really supportive, but a lot of people do that stereotypical thing where like they'll engage with a lot of artists, reach a certain following, and then kind of just like unfollow everybody. But like the people I fuck with, I don't know if I can say that on here.
You're fine.
The people I fuck with,
I put on PG-13.
They are not like that at all. Like the love is so real and like it's so supportive. Like I've got it's like sales from art Twitter that have allowed me to like, you know, freaking pay rent at times just because I'm like, oh shit, like people from wherever in the world like actually want to support me and like the feelings are mutual. So it's a really great community. Like I think all artists need to hop on Twitter because there's a community for you out there. Like
if you're a true like Twitter person, you realize how hard it is to get that type of interaction on Twitter. Like Twitter's more cutthroat, but it's also more welcoming to people who are serious about what they're doing. And like you're like proof of that. Like when I see the people that you interact with, it's just good to know like if you're genuine about your craft and you're like genuinely a good person and you put that out, it will be reciprocated. I mean, not right away. Not trying to tell everybody, yo, you're gonna jump on Twitter and just be a good person. You got it.
it takes time. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Like I don't know. I've had Twitter since 20 like 2014. And when I got put in my first group chat on art Twitter in October, I like went from like 600, 500 followers, like barely any interaction. I'm at like 1200 now with like a lot of interaction. And I'm really grateful. Like I didn't think there was that many people out there that genuinely believe like I do that this can be my full-time gig, you know? Like, so it's cool.
I do want to talk to you about the business aspect to the creative skills that you have, because a lot of people do realize like, yo, I can do this as a hobby and I can just do this for fun. And then there's also people who can realize like, if I take this a little more serious and I, you know, put more behind it, I can actually live off this. And for you, having a website, you sell your clothes, you sell prints, you even sell customs. First, I gotta
check out my custom shoes, guys.
Chris.
Know, it's only $100 if you provide the shoe first.
It's actually my first time seeing them in person. I've seen the pictures a lot.
I kind of creased them, so I gotta touch them up. But other than that, they held up really well. I had a girl in Chicago send me a picture of this week of hers that she got, so that was a really cool feeling. Like someone I don't even know was wearing my shoes. Like that's so cool.
How long is the process?
Excuse me. To order the shoe, it takes about like a week or two to get there. So I include that in the description that it's like 2 or 3 weeks. But if I really lock in, I can do a pair of these in like an hour or two. Yeah.
Tough.
But then I like to take a day to like go back to it and just look it over, and then of course I like take pictures of them. So I'll like wait for a sunny day and like, you know, you have to have that like influencer mindset. Like this is when I have time to do creative stuff, and this is when I have time to like go be an adult or whatever you have to do to get by. You know?
The time management. I mean, if you can't handle it, I mean, I'm a manager, so my artists, you know, they get a little break, or the creatives I manage, they get a little break on the time management, but it's super important. You can, if you fall more into one than the other, you know, it could succumb your life.
Yeah, it's so hard. I'm still struggling to find that balance right now. Yeah.
But going back to the business
Yeah,
though, the
go back to
business
the business
aspect.
stuff.
So what made you in your mind decide this is what I want to live off of? Like, how do I incorporate financial income from this? Like, what made you decide that route with art?
Um, it was a couple things. Like one of them's like really personal, but we don't have to get into it. But I'd I have a how do I even go about this? I decided to take it seriously after quarantine, sort of, because that last winter like gave me that time. It gave me way more time than I'd ever needed, and I was like, how do I be productive with my time? So I just started painting again, and I guess taking it more serious, but like having fun with it. And those 3 or 4 months sort of just like made me realize like how much I enjoyed doing it again, and like I could see my growth. Like I could see myself getting better. So I was like, why stop, you know?
Right.
And then in June of last year, like around the time quarantine, like I don't want to say ended because like it never ended, but you know, when like things were sort of
Opening
looking
back
up
up.
and like it was nice weather again, like very optimistic. I lost one of my friends who was an artist, and he was one of my biggest creative inspirations. Like, we were 20 at the time, so it was just like it like just changed everything because just the way he lived his life, he just made music, made money, made art, and like did his thing, and I admired that so much. So I was like, dude, I'm not the happiest with the way my life's going right now. Like, what needs to change? And he would always tell me, like, "Just go crazy with the art, like, just go crazy with the art." And I was like, "You know, like, all it takes is one person that believes in you." And I had more than one person that was believing in me. So, like, I was like, "You know, like, I know I wanna do this." So I made a website to start,
Right.
and it's just been trial and error, like, slip and check ever since, but, like, I love it, so.
So the website was made last year.
Hmm?
End of last year is the time the website was up.
I made it I was working on it all summer,
Yeah.
and I opened it up for sales the first week of August.
Mm.
Yeah, so almost a year.
Hey, tough.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some like anniversary merch.
Oh
Was
my
it?
gosh, yeah, I have plans. I have plans. That's why I got 2 jobs right now so I can invest in all these future plans, you
Mm,
know?
that's a big part to the business creative end that I feel like a lot of people don't realize, but it takes a lot of investment. Like how you
Mhm.
said you have to balance the creative time with the adulting work time. That adulting work time, I
Mhm.
can imagine is just so you can have that creative time the way you have it
Yes.
now.
Yes. It's like you have to remain in like a constant state of gratitude because like I could be like, "Oh my gosh, like I have 2 jobs and no time for art." Or I
Mhm.
could be like, "Oh, thank God I have more than one way to support myself and I'll just go harder in my time off," you know?
Right.
So like you have to be comfortable like constantly like taking on like new mentalities, I guess, cuz it's like I don't know. I feel like as an artist like you can't like you need to like take yourself seriously. Good looks. He got me a cup of water.
Shout out Tyler
Thank
P.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So you need to like take yourself seriously and your craft seriously, but you need to like be realistic too and be like, all right, well, these are my goals. How am I going to achieve them? You
Mhm.
know? So like I guess it was just like this year taught me how to adult a little better because I was like, I have things I want to do and I'm held back because I can't do them yet. So I was like, gotta adult it up, you know?
To get into the topic of being ready to change mentalities, I'm really glad you said it that way too, because you're one person I know who understands the importance of having your spiritual like solid spirituality behind yourself and your actions. Me myself, I'm like very
Mm-hmm.
karma lenient person. I believe karma is a very strong force within the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's like law of attraction. Like you have to be mindful of everything you're putting out.
I feel like being a creative makes it easier to be open to those types of ideas. I feel like I haven't had conversations about manifestation or laws of attraction before I started talking to more creatives, more people who are making ideas come to life.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
So for you, knowing that you dabble in those conversations as well, where do you find the importance in those? topics?
It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing because this is such a great conversation because I was raised Catholic, like I always went to Catholic school.
Right.
So when I graduated, I did a year of college and dropped out. I was like kind of I'm not like speaking negative or positively about any way of thinking, but I kind of had to unlearn some of the stuff I was taught because it was holding me back. And with spirituality, it just sort of like it's you have to want to do it, you have to educate yourself on what you want to learn, but like as far as like inspiring my creative process, like it's everything, I guess. Like it makes you realize that everyone is a creative being, not just like me and you.
Right.
And most people just don't tap into that power. They just walk around in denial. So
Big facts.
I feel like once you incorporate spirituality and being creative, like it drives your creative energy even more because you want more people to recognize like these same narratives that we all share, because like people are so separated right now. And like, I feel like creatives and spirituality, like they go hand in hand because it's like the greater whole.
I definitely like. I agree 100%. For people to want to like, I feel like I just want to bring up stories. Like I want to use Sprout because he's out there right now. Me meeting Sprout and thinking about the things that we've done, it was more so like wanting it that bad, like having our two energies together and wanting to accomplish getting a trip done or showing people the visuals to the song so we have more to represent it. Like being around him made those things possible. Well, not being around him, but being around energy that also thought the same way and wanted to bring these same ideas to life, like that combined energy.
Yeah, who
Help.
you surround yourself with is so important. It's so important.
Ooh, now I'm about to dive into a question you have to answer, but you had mentioned isolating yourself.
Yeah, we could talk about it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, no, we could talk about it.
I'm very curious on what not drove you, like I feel like it's a bad phrasing, but what made
Yeah.
you decide that isolation was important for this period of your life?
In my like path of learning more about like religion and spirituality, I read a couple books that sort of talked about how like um because I'm all about like finding yourself because like I feel like people that like find themselves just they know that like it's best to just constantly like put out good into the world and like just I don't know. I was just trying to better myself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And some of the books I read were talking about how like you really have to study yourself first and then study others before you study a higher thinking. So like if I was going to study myself, like it's hard to study yourself when you're in constant communication with people. And I already work 2 jobs where I'm constantly communicating with people, like constantly being nice to people all day. And I noticed like it was really draining. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to let my alone time when I'm not working, like really be my alone time. Like I want to study myself and I want to, draw business plans and I want to meditate and I have a close enough circle that that was really easy to do because if I ever did want to just call someone up, like FaceTime, you want to smoke, you want to get ramen, like something slight. Like I have that. I have my like core group, so that made it easier too. But I felt like I just wanted to study myself more and sort of clarify what I want and what direction I want my life to go because like your thoughts are so important. When you're constantly surrounded by other people's energies, it's easier to pick up on that and harbor it. And I sort of just wanted to like come back to myself a little bit, to help my art get better and to just like be a better me for all the people that I'm in contact with.
It's crazy to hear that answer only because of the fact that being a creative nowadays, I'm about to jump into like social media. It's not like everyone goes into social media looking for recognition or looking for like people to look at them per se. But at the end of the day, once you like dabble into that part of the creative industry, you kind of are like you're kind of looking for that next connection that you can make through your art. So hearing how you're able to, while in the same time period, while everything's growing, you're putting out more products, you're connecting with more people probably than ever. I mean, our
That
Twitter
made
and
it easier to isolate too. Social media, you're constantly in communication with people, you know?
it. I feel like certain people start to create like their lifestyles based on it though. Like creating that
Mm-hmm.
isolation and separating yourself, you can tell when people are really don't have that ability anymore in a sense. Like it would have to be forced, like, all right, now I have to be to myself.
Yeah. Oh, there's something just happened to me the other day that made me think about that. I had a conversation with someone who likes and this is no judgment because to
Mhm.
each their own, but someone that likes to party a lot and like go out and just have lots of people over. And I'm just thinking like that just couldn't be me right now. And somebody came in to eat at one of the places I worked at, and they came to eat alone.
Right.
And this person was like, "Oh, I can't imagine like eating alone." And I'm like, "I take myself out to eat alone all the time." And I was like, "Damn, like this person really doesn't have the capacity to like just be with themselves and nobody else. You still have your phone. Like there's people in there all the time. And people
That's
still don't
very
have the
true.
capacity to just be alone and like enjoy their own company. And like I think that's so essential to understanding yourself, you know,
Unless you're looking for yourself through other people.
which is not smart. I don't, I mean, maybe it is, but you need a balance of both. You need that duality. You need both sides.
I'm with you there. I feel like duality is important, having both sides,
Hmm. Yeah.
not having one more than the other.
Duality and spirituality go like that's one of my favorite themes in my art. Like,
One of your paintings is duality based, right? It's
mm-hmm,
the one where they're sitting down and you
mm-hmm,
have the dark side and the light side.
yeah,
I
mm-hmm,
remember seeing, I think you posted the progress pic or something like that, and you're like, "This is about to be like my best piece yet. I
mm-hmm,
have so much into it. This represents so much." And like the seeing those words coming from you, it's like, all right, this is genuinely about to be like a crazy piece. Like you feel the excitement, like you can feel it alongside you while you're putting these pictures out with the progress.
mm-hmm.
And that painting specifically, what was going on in that time period that made you portray that art? Like what did you wanna represent when you were making that
Um,
with the duality?
yeah, that painting, um, a lot of my paintings are just like stream of consciousness, like whatever's coming to me in that moment is what I'm expressing.
Mhm,
So, I'd been sketching people meditating for some time. So like that painting started with just like a person sitting in the middle meditating. And I came back to the next day, I'm like, what do I want to do with this? Like, do I want to put them in a garden? Do I want to put them in the sky? Like, what do I want to represent here? And like I think like the creative process is so weird because like sometimes I'll just pick colors and start painting because I like the colors, and other times I'm like, I definitely want to do this. And that one was just like it was just all, like, present moment, like, stream of consciousness. I don't know how to describe it, like, there wasn't a plan. It was just, like, um I feel like this goes with psychology too, like, your subconscious mind,
mhm,
your subconscious mind, is so important, and I feel like that picture was, like it came from somewhere that I don't remember. I don't know. It was just cool. It was a cool process. Since I could be really open on this, I was also like microdosing at the time.
right,
So I was really feeling like the nature energy and like studying duality with like duality is like one of the biggest keys to spirituality. Like you need the good and the bad. Every bad situation has a good. Every
mhm.
good situation has a bad. So I was like that theme was so present in my life at the time that I was like I think I was subconsciously trying to communicate that.
I took a psychology class in
Mhm.
my 1 year of college.
Yeah, we both did 1 year of college.
Yeah, shout out the 1 year I took.
For real, I like what Shino says. He's like, "I didn't drop out." He's like, "I graduated early because I
No
learned what I had to
cap.
learn and got out of there." Like, I
It
don't
really is
know.
like that, like
You just gotta absorb it and be like, "All right, I
on
know
to
what
the
I have to
next.
do."
I wish it could have been like a 1 year, like, not speed course, like, try to get all the credits, be like, "Yeah, just try for a year and then go out." Like, I wish that was something people said you could do because it is. It
Mhm.
really is.
Mhm.
But, in my one class psychology class, I learned about how, like, the subconscious is, like, your instant thought, like, what you would if you didn't take a second thought, like, your subconscious is what your first thought and your first action would have been.
Mhm.
And I always felt as though with microdosing and connecting to that part of your mind. So I feel like your first brain, not your subconscious, your present thoughts create a barrier from that.
Mhm.
You have that like layer of anxiety or that layer of self-doubt or something just to keep you from thinking like your first thought's the right choice to make.
Mhm.
When you microdose and let that go, I feel like your true thoughts do come out. For you to say that you were connecting to your subconscious and having those like in the moment
Mhm.
creates
Just like the
creative
stream of
stream of
consciousness. Yeah.
consciousness. It's crazy because I feel like you just put like a terminology on what I would try to help other people understand.
Mhm.
Like you have to be able to just know what you want,
Mhm.
know what you're thinking, what you would do in a moment
Yeah.
before you think about somebody else, before you think about, oh, how will this affect this? Like you have to be connected to that type of thought process
Mhm.
in order to truly, and this is just me. So you could even disagree right now, but I feel like if
Mhm.
you don't have that connection, like you're not really happy. You're putting on that like
I agree.
persona, like because you're looking for it. You're looking
Mhm.
for what do you really want. A
Mhm.
lot of people I've met recently, there's there's like a there's like a thin line between working and overworking,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
You have to be able to take a break. You have to be able to sit back. And there's people who are like, nah, like I gotta get everything right now. I have to work right now. These are people I've been around recently. And I'm starting to see that like when you overwork, you can lose it. You can lose what you're really working for.
Yeah.
And
I agree. That's why like I was saying like I don't think I can have like two jobs for that much longer. Like I have to move smarter, like work smarter, not harder, you know.
Mhm. I literally had to leave like my job at the time. Like the beginning of the year, I had a full-time job.
I remember
I
you
was
was in the gym.
and it was lit. I'm just sitting at the desk. I literally get to do all my computer work. I'm doing nothing. I'm
Yeah.
selling memberships,
You
getting
have
commission
access to workout stuff whenever you want, which is
whenever I
also great
want.
for your mental health. So,
You know what scared me though?
mm.
How comfortable I got.
Wow, that's some real shit though.
It was
You
too easy of a
you
job.
realized that you were comfortable in your comfort.
It was like long hours, weeks. It was like 80 hour, 90-hour totals between 2 weeks. So I was
That's a
there all the
lot.
time. I basically lived there, but it's not like I couldn't like walk out, be like take my own breaks, whatever, because they
Mhm.
understand you're there all the time.
Yeah.
But it was so simple of a job. The bread was cooling, but I really thought like I looked around at the people who else were working in my position. They've been there for 10 years. They've been there for longer than
Yeah.
the gym was even the name that it was because it changed to eSport and then it
Mhm.
changed from LA to something else. A-
Wow.
And I just didn't want that. So I had to quit. I
Yeah.
literally was like, how can I make this money not here?
Mhm. That segment's so well into like something a thought I just had recently. Like I've had this thought at most of my jobs, but I've learned to take nothing personally in these conventional work environments because I would be mad too if a 20-year-old was working the same job as me. Like, I can't take that personally. And I know that these are stepping stones, so I'm able to just go in there, do what I have to do and get out.
Mm.
But I also need to have that mentality that like I don't need these jobs. Like,
I think it's very important to have that mentality. Someone I was
Mhm.
talking to about like, yo, when you quit, like it's almost like quitting feels wrong. You
Mhm.
ever seen that? Like there was a tweet that was going viral. It was like, why am I putting in 2 weeks? Like when I quit, like I'm done.
Yeah,
Why is it not like
I've
that?
walked out on jobs. Like, I don't know why the world works the way it does, but certain things are just, when I'm out, like I'm sorry, I'm out.
Hmm.
Like maybe not all jobs. That sounds unprofessional, but like I don't know. As an artist too, it's kind of just like you always have that fallback to like, well, what if I just went harder with my art? Like, well, what if I
I feel
just
like all those situations come out to how much harder can I go now? Like
Yes,
once
that's
you're
what I'm
in the
saying.
situation,
Like if this is really what you want to do and you like quit a job in whatever manner you choose to quit, like um you just need to have that mentality. It's like, all right, well, I'm still getting to a bag regardless of what just happened, you know?
so I'm about to shout out some people in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Dean says what's up.
What's up? What's up, Dean? That's one of my best friends.
Venom says Carol is my middle name. Shout out Venom.
What's up, Venom?
He's a Philly bull.
Word?
He's cool. He's cool peoples.
Hell yeah.
Rose said KC and then said you go Carolyn. And then Beth went, that's our girl.
Yup. What's up, guys? I appreciate you. I have a really good support system. That makes creating a lot easier too, you know? Um, you know how in Avatar. This is one of my paintings. But you know how in Avatar when Zuko and Aang go to the fire temple because Zuko's like, "Yo, I need a different source of power that's not pain or anger."
Yeah.
That I had a period where I was like that too. I was like, I've been creating out of like grief, pain, anger, whatever the hell it was. I was like, this is like it's a nice release, but it's also like not the healthiest because like you have to be able to create from a place of like peace and like love and all that stuff too.
Especially
So
if you're
like,
going back to it. Like you're basically putting yourself in that position again to
yeah.
create that way.
And for me, like that was my my family and my friends, like my support systems, like they've seen me do like I mean, I don't know. I've had so many like stages of life that I was just like a different person. They've just seen me evolve so much and like realizing that they never like like cut me out even when I was on bullshit is amazing cuz I actually really like who I am now and like in retrospect like I wish I would have done some things differently, but also like I have people that love me regardless. So like
Yeah.
that's all that matters, you know?
Those people are the irreplaceable people.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
The
those,
people that make it easy to isolate because you know they're there regardless.
no matter what person you come out of isolation, no matter what person comes out of that isolation, like they're
Yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure.
We were just talking about that too. Like it only takes like that one good supporter to take you that much farther.
All good. Sorry, my family just asked me something.
You're chilling. So I had people like calling last time to just talk to like
Yeah?
Sprout. Yeah, someone called my phone. It was
If
like
someone FaceTimes me,
they can talk on the podcast.
whoever wants to chat, feel free.
You can come on live and ask questions, or you can go into the chat and just say hey, ask a question, you'll get a shout out.
What do we look like right now? Oh shit. This is so cool. This is so conversational. I really like it, yeah.
It's a real chill setting. I felt like this studio when it was made originally was made by just a couple of homies trying to, just do something.
Just do something.
And then it became the hangout spot. And next, like all the homies were here. And then on top of that, when the music started becoming like a serious thing, we had the homies. Plus, we had all these new people that were like super cool and passionate and creative.
I came in here in like I think it was like November.
Yeah.
And I just sat there while they made music and was just like drawing because I was like, it was just hella inspiration bouncing around. I was like, they got a good thing going, you know?
You honestly had me geeking that day when you came because you were talking about how you felt the creative energy. And it was a reminder of like what the point of the studio was. Because during that time, I mean, it was COVID time. In the summer, it was like strict to like 2 people being here. So when you were coming here, it was right after me and Tyler overcame some like obstacles with getting people down here, everyone in the house feeling safe, marketing it again and getting all the old people back. So when you came and you like had that experience here and I saw it firsthand, I'm pretty sure I was tripping too. So it was like
that was a good day.
I was geeking.
That was a good day.
Appreciated you being the person that came with Indigo that day. Shout out Indigo. It was a good time. It was definitely a good time. I'm pretty sure I ended up at
You ended up at my house my apartment that night. Yeah, we were all just vibing, talking about art. He got to see my art in person, which was so fun. Like
it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, I got 2 roommates. They're cool as hell, so it was just a good vibe. Which one?
The one with the TV in it and the lights are at the top. And then when they all change, it feels like all the paintings are changing as well.
Yes, the energy.
An experience. Definitely an experience.
Yeah, I live with another artist too. I live with 2 artists. Shout out Love Issa and Kat because they're like some of the most gifted people I know. So like I said, it's all about I think they're both busy right now, but that's fine.
There's definitely some other people trying to get there. Trying to get to you, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to say this name. It's Ntaidora. I don't want to say it wrong. You see what I'm saying? Nataidora.
But also people's usernames are different from their name. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well,
what's up, guys?
They said, "Hey, Kid Carol, you're definitely genuine and authentic, and I can see that aiding in your success." Also from the name I can't pronounce. Shout out you.
Shout out you. I need to figure out who you are because your username confused me a little bit.
Yeah, say your name.
Please say your name.
Katie Camara said,
"What up, girl?" Yeah.
And then Beth says, "You have evolved into an amazing person, girl."
She's seen my evolution like no other in a great way. Yeah. that woman called me out one time when I was tripping, and like I actually really needed to hear it, you know. So while we're on that topic real quick, never be afraid to be humbled, you know. That like life's gonna humble you regardless, literally regardless of whatever you do, good or bad. No, you're good. Life's gonna humble you, so like just be comfortable with it and ready for it, and like, you know. Quick side note.
That's a big one. I'm actually going through some humbling phases right now.
It happens, yo. It happens.
It's necessary.
It's necessary for growth. Like it's kind of ugly sometimes, but like it is what it is, you know. Oh, Ty. I think that's Ty.
Leia V.
Yeah, she's a Jersey artist. She's tough.
How
What's
do you
up,
say
dude?
that?
Her name's Ty.
Tata.
I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm not about to do that to you in case I mispronounce it, but I know her as Ty.
You know what? I'm gonna try to give you the shout out.
She's extremely talented. She's an artist that I got to meet through the Laugh House too, and we're actually gonna collab on something. We're just both really busy, so we haven't gotten around to it, but I mean, it's on the list, you know. Yeah, she's great.
The long list of things that Kid Carol has.
It's just I have so many ideas. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I'm just so excited, but like trying to stay in the present moment because it's like I have so many plans and ideas, but I have to like reel it in and be like, what can I do right now that's like productive right now, you know?
Focusing on one project at a time when you know all the things that you could be doing.
Yep.
Props to you for, you know, pacing.
Thanks. I'm trying. I was doing too much at one point, and it actually led me to getting nothing done. So like don't try to do too much either, because I was trying to do like shoes, clothes, learn how to use my iPad. I've been drawing on Procreate, trying to get better with graphic design. So I was bouncing around between like graphic design, custom shoes, making clothes, and then what else am I trying? I was doing cover art for some people, and then they kind of just folded, but like it happens, you know.
You know who didn't fold?
You know who didn't fold? You know who didn't fold?
Gotta shout them out.
Yes, shout out the Laugh House.
Big shout out to the Laugh House.
I am so grateful to have been connected to all of them, and that is like that group of people specifically has become one of my creative influences. We were talking about creative influences earlier.
Would you say that was like one of your that was like your first big collab in a sense?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was my first like big collab, and again, like I'm so grateful they like let me be a part of it. Like there's so many talented artists on that track. It's great. I try to put everybody from home on too. It's an awesome tape. Like just from start to finish, like the meaning behind it, everything that went into it. Like it also touches on the theme of duality that I incorporate into my own art, like lost and found, good and bad. Like, you know,
you really do go through like both those emotional states within that tape, which I was really impressed by, like how she, you know, curated that.
Yeah, seriously.
And then to have you on the cover.
Shout out all of you for real. So really grateful for that. There's actually a music video. Oh my gosh, it released at 6. There's a music video for my friend back home, Pluto Carr, starring Crystal, Genesis, and myself. So I gotta post that at some point and shout out.
I'm gonna add the link in the post description. So if you're at this part, it's in the description. I'm gonna make sure.
Yes, it's gonna be there. So yeah, it's actually a song called Carol. Oh. It's not about me, but it's a song called Carol. And I love the way he did it. It's like an all girls video, and
you're good.
Yeah, I know, but shout out Pluto Carr too. That's one of my creative influences as well.
So let's dive into more of your creative influences.
Okay.
Laugh House group, that's added to the list. Pluto Carr, add to the list. What other people or creatives inspire or influence you?
I'm trying to think. There's like my mind goes so many ways because I feel like most people's creative influences are musicians, and mine is like musicians, visual artists, like, you know, everything. I don't know, go on and on, but off the top of my head, I love Future. I think Future is one of the best artists as far as duality goes, because we could get like toxic, sad Future, or we could get like I'm gonna like go get drunk and like rage for the night. Future, like in a good way, like, you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
you get both sides, and like, you know, he's so vulnerable as an artist. And
I feel you put me on the Future for like a second time. Like I already knew of Future and I
yeah,
already appreciated Future, and then I met you. I was like, damn, but like Future really is that guy, huh?
Future's that guy for real. Like I love Future. And when I was in high school, I went to a lot of music festivals, so I was really blessed to see Uzi in 2016. So, you know, Love is
On the
Rage.
come
Like,
up,
oh,
Uzi.
it was at this little show in Maryland. It was called Trelectro. It was like a 1-day festival. My mom saw it on Groupon and was like, "Yeah, you want to go to this?" And I was like, "Yeah." Turned into one of the best days of my life. So like I've loved Uzi since the jump. I love his energy. I
Yeah.
love his
I'm also a
style.
huge fan of Uzi.
Love his style.
Huge fan.
I love Pierre Bourne. People sleep on Pierre. I would sleep on Pierre, honestly. Someone had to put me on when The Life of Pierre 4 dropped, and my friend put me on, and he also produced like that tape for Young Nudie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like Pierre has had like so many, like his foot in so many other people's like projects and collabs. Like I feel like he's slept on, because like people are just like, "Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?" I'm like, "No, you got to go listen to like The Life of Pierre 1, 2, 3, 4. The deluxe was all right, but like, you know what I mean. I love Pierre too. So those are like my favorite musicians, I guess.
It's funny you bring up Pierre. I was talking about him a couple of days ago, and I really look at him like a Kanye type story. Like producer go artist, and then
Yeah.
artist go into something else. Because I don't think he's gonna limit himself as an artist. Like he
Mhm.
definitely has the potential to go farther, but
Mhm.
recognition,
Yeah.
I definitely feel as though he slept on.
Yeah, I just think like he goes crazy on other people's beats, and it's cool to see him start to go crazy on his own too.
Mhm.
So as he like finds his sound, I like to just like, you know, keep an eye on that too.
Yeah.
I also like, I already brought up the Laugh House, but like and Pluto Car, but like so many of my friends are musicians. So like it's so cool to like be creating, and you're listening to your friend's music, and like it actually sounds really good, and it's like, this is really my friend right now. Like that feeling is still so surreal to me sometimes, you know. Or when you're playing it for other people and they're like, "Who is this?" You're like, "That's my friend." Like that's so cool,
100%.
you know.
I 100% agree. That feeling is unmatched when you're
Mhm.
just sitting there jamming, and it's like, wow, this was happening right next to me. This
Yeah.
came to life
Mhm.
in front of my eyes.
Mhm.
And then especially when you see other people enjoying it,
Mhm.
especially when
It
people
hits
feel the same
different.
way, and
Mhm.
you're like, well, you're not gonna believe this.
Right.
What was I about to say? Wow, I had a question before I said that. It left.
It left. All right.
It'll come back too. It's gonna come back at like a random moment.
Trying to think if I have any more creative influences. Oh, my first creative influence, I was doing some reflecting last night, just preparing for this conversation.
Mhm.
And I have this really vivid memory of, this is also how I feel like I know I'm supposed to be an artist. When I was in elementary school,
Yeah.
we had to take art every year.
Okay.
And I loved it. That was my favorite class. I always look forward to it. And I remember learning about Picasso's blue period. Do you know what I'm talking about? Pablo Picasso had a blue period in his paintings from like, I think it was like 4 or 5 years, like the begin. It was a little over 100 years ago, basically. It's not that old.
Mm.
But he has a series of paintings called the blue period that we studied when I was like super young. And I still remember it as like my first time looking at art and just feeling something. Like it was when I think he was going through a depression, and like you can just see his emotions reflected in his work. And for me to have been like 9, 10, 11 years old, whatever it was, and like really feeling that, like that made
That
me
early
love
on
art, because I
too.
was like, this is a nonverbal communicator, and like I need to tap in, like I need to get better at this, because like it's meaningful and it's powerful, you know.
Mhm.
That was like my first creative influence, Picasso's blue period.
Early on, like to actually feel that like connection and have that until now though. That's a strong like.
I have my own like palette that I default to when I'm feeling like sad, negative emotions. Like I always default to like red, black, and gray,
Hmm.
you know? So it's like you see, like, I don't know, you make connections between yourself and like artists you really admire, and like that fuels me creatively too.
Those are my favorite colors too.
Red, black, and white.
Red and black.
Red and black.
I thought you said
Yeah.
red, black, gray though.
Yeah, and gray. Yeah, they
Mm.
look so good. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite palettes.
It's crazy because yesterday I went to Hobby Lobby for the first time.
Hobby Lobby's pretty lit.
And I was like, I really want to, because thinking about the interview today, I was like, I really want to buy like paint gear. Like, I really want to just indulge in
Yeah.
painting again. Because I painted before,
It's so fun.
but it's like, it was like in the spirit type thing. Like, I never planned to paint. I never
Mhm.
planned to bring something to life.
Mhm.
So I thought I'd go down that route. And
Mhm.
this was definitely an inspiration for it.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to send
I
you a
love
picture
that.
of it when it's
Please
done.
do. Please do. I have one at home that I'm working on that I'm really excited to release soon.
How much time do you spend on each project?
That is dependent. I finished projects in like a couple of days, and I just finished a project a couple weeks ago that I started last July. Like it's so dependent on stuff. Like a lot of my anime paintings, like I bang them out in a couple of days because I get so excited about how it's gonna turn out, and I just keep wanting to come back to it. But then some of them are like I guess, like, emotionally draining. So, like, I have to come back to it whenever I'm feeling like I can connect with whatever I was feeling at that time, you know? Which is also why I love Future, because like, I could listen to some toxic Future when I'm feeling like that, or I could, like, switch it up and listen to, like, some happy Future, you know what I mean? Get that duality going.
I definitely am a fan of melodic Future.
Mhm.
So you can have multiple projects going on at one time then.
Yeah, that's, like, one of my biggest problems is I'll, like, start a new project knowing damn well I haven't finished another one, but, like, the inspiration's there, so I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna start it," you know? Have a bunch of stuff laying around my house, but it is what it is.
I got 2 major questions I have to ask. So this
Ooh, okay.
before
I'm
closing.
ready.
I think we're doing good. We're doing really good on time. So
Bet I
but I
got
got
nowhere to be.
huh?
I said, bet I have nowhere to be.
Oh, bet. I have to edit a recap video. Stay tuned into the MQ Phantoms Rage YouTube for that. Coming out this weekend. Can't talk more about it yet. But the first question. Anime.
Oh, or Dr.
Anime is becoming a
King.
very, very huge influence in the game, like a well-known influence in the game now.
Anime
more
is
than
cool
ever.
now.
Yeah, it's such
What?
a weird phrase to
I
say.
know.
Anime is cool now.
I started watching anime in high school, and my friend said I was weird for that shit.
What did you start with?
I started with Naruto, naturally, and then I finished Shippuden, and then I was like, "Holy shit, what's next?" Because I didn't watch Boruto because I heard that ruins it, so I'm just not about to.
I do not agree whatsoever. I can't believe you said that.
Really?
Oh my god.
That's just what I've been told, and I'm like, let me just not ruin this. I don't know.
It's a slow start,
Yeah.
and then it hits the manga, and then you have a great time.
Is the animation good?
It gets really good. It's
Okay.
not good in the beginning.
That's another thing I noticed about myself as an artist in anime is, I think I subconsciously watch so much anime because I'm observing how people draw, and I like to learn from different animes, like draw different characters, so I'm trying different styles and stuff. Like I finished it. I'm waiting for the next episode, but have you watched Jujutsu Kaisen yet?
Yes.
That animation goes crazy. Like every time I watch it, I want to like draw a picture from it, like freeze frame something and be like, yes, I need to draw that. Like I love that's a good show. I'm about to read the manga because I don't feel like waiting for the episodes.
There's no new episodes coming out right now. The season ended, right?
My younger sibling told me that they drop them every I don't know.
You watching it subbed or dubbed?
The Japanese version.
So
yes.
all right. So then I think it's on hiatus. So the manga's the only thing.
The English ruins it for real. Their voices are so corny. Like
it's so the only anime that I know like the English kind of tops the Japanese is Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Because like everyone's screaming and squeaky voiced in the sub version of DBZ, but dubbed like they're not really like manly voices. But they're less squeaky.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Everything else, I gotta watch it sub.
Yeah.
Except for some of these, I don't know. Actually, I've been dabbling with both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it depends. Like, do I want to sit back and just listen to something, or do I want to be like fully invested in it, like reading the subtitles too? You know, because sometimes I'll like throw on anime and start painting or drawing something. So if it's not in English, then I'm not really
Paying
like,
attention
yeah,
to
you know what I mean?
or you
But
would have to pay attention to it and then
yeah.
not the paint.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your top 5 animes?
Probably Naruto. I paint a lot of pictures from it. I don't care. I love that show, and the way I got put onto it was really cool too.
I
But
got like 2 of
it's
your Naruto
another
paintings.
story. Yeah.
No, I have 2 of your Naruto prints. I have the Itachi Sasuke one,
hmm
right? That's yours.
hmm
Yeah, and then the Naruto under the tree.
That's top like 3 paintings. I love that
I have it
one.
on my LED lights too, so it can have that effect.
That
Ah.
painting is that one hits home. I really like. I'm watching Parasite right now. It's really
That's
good.
a really good
Yeah,
one.
I'm at the part where he just killed the thing that attached to his mom. So I know he's about to turn up. But yeah, that's really good. I watched My Hero Academia.
Also a really good
It
one.
was good, yeah. I'm trying to think. I didn't finish Attack on Titan.
Wow.
I know.
You were
I
saving
need-
yourself a lot of like mind.
The reason I
fuckery?
haven't, hear me out, is because it's a very dark show.
Mhm.
And while I can fuck with that sometimes, like I like to have as many creative, positive influences as possible and stuff. So like that show was just like dark, like all the time. So I
And
was
it
like,
doesn't treat the
let me
audience
take
well either.
yeah, I was like, let me take a step back from that one. I'm trying to think. I just like dabble right now. Like I honestly I know I need to watch more animes, but what are some of your favorite anime?
The turnaround.
The turnaround.
I
Put me
would
on because I'm
say
still, I don't make enough time to watch TV for real. So I just watch whatever. I'm like, let me put this on.
TV only comes on like right before sleep.
That's what
And
I'm
then how long I
saying.
could stay up for is how much I watch.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5. I would say Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
Death Note because I watched it really young. And
Mm-hmm.
like to see somebody try and be like 2 to 3 steps ahead of people at all times like that just was really like it had reeled me in.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Death Note myself too. Actually, I did like a whole photo set with it.
Oh, word. That's
DBZ, Naruto, because those were like my
Classics.
2 starters, 2 Nami days. Like love them. I can't stand One Piece. I like don't talk about One Piece around me.
I don't know. No
Amongst
comment.
those are like the 3 shonen leaders.
You like One Punch Man?
Yes.
I like that. I thought that was good.
I don't
mean,
know where the new
honestly,
season is.
it's really just like him fucking up everybody that comes in his way, but I'm fine with that.
But it's like a build up to the moment that really makes it what it is.
You're right.
Because it's inevitable, but like these guys have stories all the way up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like these villains.
Some people don't. I don't know why the hell some people like don't consider this but I freaking loved Avatar. I remember watching it as a kid and then rewatching it during quarantine and like when it was on Netflix or whatever. And I was like, this is a really great little show.
It's American made though, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's why everyone hates on it. But there was a manga though. There was, and I'm pretty sure it's in the Japanese style. Like you read it backwards.
Yeah,
so
I just really like the character development in there. I feel like it touches on some cool themes and like I said, I love the actual animation and the drawing. So like I love the way they drew up some of the stuff in there. Like that dragon dance scene goes crazy to me. Like
Avatar definitely showed like growth in terms of teen I'm trying to think of like how I want to word it. The carelessness of a kid and coming out the iceberg, like literally not worrying about his people being destroyed and being frozen for however long he was and all that.
Yeah.
To him just like, all right, I gotta save the world. But that transition of his mindset between the 4 seasons, like because when it dropped on Netflix, I was a part of all right, I'm gonna rewatch it all right now. And it was crazy to see like how carefree he was and then the things that he went throughout it that made him. It wasn't like a choice. It made him have to grow up.
Yeah.
And it was like, it taught you, it was just so deep for a kid show.
It's like loss of innocence, but also like it touched on like having a fucked up government and like stuff like that. It was just like a lot. Like it was so cool. And I mentioned like Zuko like having to learn to create energy from something that isn't anger or hatred. Like that's so deep. And like they had this boy like meditating on his chakras and stuff, like I'm watching that as a kid, like what is that, let me figure that out.
He was really battling his demons. He was
we gotta love our shadows too. Yeah, that's a
absolutely
lot. Yeah. That's actually the painting I'm working on right now.
Love Your Shadows.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
Stay
cool.
tuned for that. Love Your
It's gonna
Shadows.
be
I'm very
cool.
interested in what that.
What if we loved our shadow instead?
And I'm very interested in what this, how you portray that.
Thank you. I'm excited for it.
This is like the big question.
Okay.
And this is like the thing I would hope you could show people who are like, yo, what do you do? Who are you? Like, if I want to learn more about you, this would be the moment. Like, anybody who knows you now or doesn't know you yet, if they were like, yo, what does Kid Kero mean to you? Like the name, like what does everything that you're doing mean to you? Or what should I be looking for in it? What would you tell them? Like, what is the message behind your art in a sense?
Mm, I've been asking myself the same question for months. So the best answer I have is um, higher thinking. I want my art to push people to think differently and I want them to look at it and feel something. And that sounds so like stereotypical, but like I paint for so many different reasons that I feel like the people that look at my art are gonna have so many different reasons for it, you know? I just wanna like evoke emotion and like stir someone's subconscious to like sort of just be pushed towards like a higher thinking, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like higher thinking, what does that mean? That means seeing yourself in everybody, realizing that everybody's a creative being, not just you. It means having empathy, you know, supporting the next artist. Higher thinking is recognizing the duality in everything, the good and bad, the balance.
Mm.
So yeah, I want my art to push people to a higher thinking, you know. I hope that makes sense.
When you,
I'm still working on it, but I hope that makes sense.
as someone who's like seen your art and paid attention to you as a person, I feel as though it does make sense if you were to listen to that message and then go back and see the things that you have out now, and maybe even, what's about to come out, the shadows, I could definitely see that making sense.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to be more vulnerable too with my art, which is hard, but I mean, real people recognize real people. So like the more vulnerable you are with yourself, um, and the more like authentic you can be for yourself will like translate to your relationship. So I'm just like really focused on that too.
Mm. Just for information purposes, dive into it means to be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable.
Yeah, like just sort of people who might be
To be vulnerable.
yeah, like just people who might be curious on what does she mean when she wants to be vulnerable in her art.
To be vulnerable, I guess means wait, let me think about how I'm gonna word this.
Take your time.
Well, I already started this talk with telling you about how like one of my greatest creative influences is somebody who passed away.
Right.
So like for me to be vulnerable would be to be able to admit that like broke my heart a little bit, you know? And I feel like if more people were honest with the fact, vulnerable, that like they have whatever pain, trauma, misunderstanding, like being vulnerable is like recognizing that. And instead of like kicking it to the curb and being like, oh, ew, negativity, boo, I don't want to think about this, like you have to like sit with it. That's like vulnerability, I feel like. And you know, a lot of my friends that make music, they make some sad boy shit sometimes. And I love that because that is being vulnerable with your art. You know, you're not afraid to admit that I'm not okay all the time and I might have to communicate it a different way than the next. You know, that's like vulnerability. It's like um it's just keeping it real, I guess, like speaking your truth regardless of how you think people might react because you
Yeah.
never know who needs to hear it. You know, you might like I don't know, you might make someone mad or like make somebody feel a type of way, but like who did you inspire? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I hope that made sense too.
even if it doesn't, people can rewind it and start deciphering it.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is like I said, stream of consciousness. But yeah, no, being vulnerable with your art is just like putting your authentic self into it in whatever form that comes in, because everybody has duality. Everybody has their good and their bad. As long as you just keep showing up as yourself and like don't lie to yourself, you'll be good.
We had like a minor conversation about that earlier too, about like being yourself. But like if you can't portray it, it's almost like a necessary skill that you need to work on.
Isolation. You got to figure out who you are. Like, you know, you
and that
gotta,
person
like,
can change.
return. Yeah,
Like, just
that's
like
the only
just like
thing that's
that.
constant is change. So like,
Mhm.
I feel like my closest friends are the people that have changed a lot too, because we just recognize each other's growth and the ability to love each other throughout the process, even when somebody might be on bullshit. Like, you know, that's their growth, you know.
Yeah. I think watching growth is like one of my favorite parts about the creative industry.
Same.
I've
Same.
known Tyler my whole life, Tyler out
Yeah.
there. And I've seen probably the most of Tyler this past like 2 years than my entire life. I've known him since I was like 9, and seeing someone that much and then seeing how much you can change from a different point of view. Like I know I probably change every day, but seeing it from someone like you actually work with, talk to all the time. Even Sprout, I've been working with Sprout like every day for about like 6 months now, 7 months now, and
That's
like seeing
awesome.
his growth. I know it influences mine as well, but just being around people and seeing that,
Yeah.
it's such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling to see, because these are the people you're surrounding yourself with. So how they grow is also a representation of how you're trying to grow, who the people you're around, all that.
A lot of the people I've known for the longest, I guess, don't do what I do, but I've been able to find people since I committed to the art that do.
Yeah.
And that's everything, because like that's who I'm surrounding myself with. And like it's great to see yourself grow and then see your friends grow in like all respected areas, and especially as an artist, like comparing what you did to what you've done, like that's just such a good feeling.
Talking to the people that are not doing what you're doing or not seeing the life that you're living, what's it like communicating with them in comparison to the people that are creative, the art friends that you've established and talk with and trying, what I mean? What's the conversation difference like?
It's hard, actually. That's like one of the like biggest things I'm trying to overcome right now, is not that I'm losing friends, but just that like I'm I'm not doing the same shit that most of the people I've known my whole life are doing. And um most of them don't understand it, but fortunately most of them respect it, which is awesome. But you know, that's like it's all love. Like I don't know. I can't, it's hard to speak on it, cuz it's like it's hard to talk to people about what I do, because I feel like if they're not doing what I'm doing, like what I say sometimes might go like in one ear and out the other.
Sometimes I feel like certain things take an extra explanation.
Yeah, like talking, I mean, no shade to anybody, because I freaking love all my friends, but like this is just like regular people I meet on the daily too, but like talking to non-creative people can be really draining sometimes, you know.
I call it, I mean, like everyone calls it, but like the small talk, the basic talk.
That's small talk, man.
And I was a waiter as well. I know you said you're serving. I was a waiter, so
Yep.
that small talk was literally like a daily, like every 2-minute thing. And to have that outside of waiting, like, yeah, I'm just doing small talk right now.
Like I have conversations all day, but I don't have like conversations till I call up a friend or like come home to my roommates and stuff, you know what I mean? It's just like friendliness and just, you know, mutual respect, just meeting energies. And
I gotta shout out Lexinese. Just a friend I'm thinking about now. She lives in Florida. She does like Sprouts clothes too. Shout out Lexinese. She'll like call me up randomly, and when I say random, it could be like 4 weeks, and then like
She called me yesterday.
she called you yesterday. See, it's
Yeah.
like so random, but like the moment or I'll call her, and the moment like we pick up the phone, it's instant. Like we jump right into the conversation, and
That's
it's
what
not
I'm
no catching
saying.
up. Like, what are you doing? It's like, yo, I want to talk about this with you.
Those are my my realest, most authentic friendships are the people that are like that. Like I could go weeks, months without talking to these people, but if I FaceTime you, we're picking up right where we left off. No love lost. Like, oh, you're dropping something this weekend? Bet I'm gonna make sure I'm on your site, or just like whatever it is. Like,
That's like the real. That's like
that's how you know you
real
found your
relationship.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I was really happy the other week. I was just running around, and Jody called me.
Shout out
Jody. Jody called me, and we just
Burning
talked for
Man.
like almost an hour about anything. And it was just so nice that he just even thought to just like call me up and just like, touch bases really quick. Like, I know he's like hasn't been in the area, so it was like good to just
he
like
moves. People don't
reconnect
believe
and
it,
like,
but he be moving around.
I appreciate people that just do that, from time, because it's like, um in an age like where we're so connected, like I also feel like we're really disconnected because like social media friendliness and just like tweets and likes and sliding up on your story, like people substitute that for like real conversation and like checking in on each other, and
People
like
almost account it for the friendship.
they
Like if you don't
do.
do
Oh
it, it's
my
like, wow, are we not
gosh.
friends anymore? Are we good?
Yes. Social. We didn't talk about this yet, but social media is toxic.
Mm.
It's also how I promote my business and make most of my sales,
I was
but
about to
it's
say the yin yang
toxic.
I do try to put the pros and cons next to each other and see which one outweighs, and I can't decide right now.
I can't decide either.
And it's terrible.
Like I always am thinking like if I wasn't trying to make sales and support a small business, like I would probably be off this shit for at least I would at least take breaks, like it's just like I feel like we're almost like we're addicted to it. But
it's like comparing the eras of what social media replaced for creatives. Because like
Yeah.
when it came to marketing yourself as a creative, you would get a team, you would go block to block,
Yep.
you would find ways to get your name out, flyers on the post, like you would get the street cred, the town love before anything else. But now with social media, you can get big in Russia before you even get like 3 people in your town realizing what you're doing and how serious it is. And it's bittersweet. It's very bittersweet.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's some real shit. I have people that I've met on the internet that support me more than people I've known for like 5 or 10 years. Like it just is what it is.
And they'll be like the best supporters.
Seriously, like the most loyal too. Like,
shout out Love Kills. He was a Russian Slovakian. Slovakian? Was he Slovakian or is he Russian?
He's from
Ukraine. So he's Ukrainian, and he came across Sprouts music, and we sent him. You sent him the song. He worked with Eli. All right, so there's right there though, like Ukrainian. Bull Ukraine edits videos, started connecting to Philly Bulls, and now like he's tied into the Philly scene. Like he might as well be a part of the Philly scene. Like if he was out here, he's gang because he edits videos and he shows love. And for Sprout, he sent him a video. He was like, "Yo, like I need to be on this. Like I need to help you edit this video," and like basically pushed us to getting the video done. At first, it was like we could do it, but he was so passionate about it. And yeah, shout out Love Kills. He was so passionate about it that we like booked this photo studio, got 2 videos done for him.
Hell yeah.
And we just put up the release date, right, Sprout? Next Tuesday. Oh. All right, next Tuesday. We're dropping that video.
Right,
and
bet.
It's just crazy because he's literally like a whole continent away.
Yeah.
And he's passionately pushing Sprouts music.
That's amazing. That's so cool. The internet's cool. I don't know why people said don't talk to people on the internet. People on the internet are cool as fuck, and you should talk to them because you never know. I mean, be smart, but
Definitely be
like,
smart.
yeah, be smart. But like, I hear that. I have every time someone gets on my site, I get a notification, and it just says like site visitor number, whatever, and their location. And I've noticed since I've become more deep with like art Twitter, I'm getting people from like Austria, London, Brazil,
Shout out
just
London.
like, yeah, shout out all these cool places. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
who you people are or if you'll ever even see this, but like that is such a cool feeling. Like, you don't even have to buy shit. I have people in other freaking continents, all over the world, like looking at my stuff. That's such a cool feeling.
I wish it could show those people like the moment they start interacting with your stuff. Just be like, yo, this is them in Brazil. Like
I
this.
know. I wish I knew who some of these people were. I got so excited this week when that girl from Chicago who bought my shoes, like I finally found who she was because I didn't know who she was, which was cool. But
So
like,
what? Like the sale came up on the website, and
Mhm.
that's just it. Like,
yeah, I just got a notification that somebody bought a pair of shoes and like it's like the most expensive thing on my site. So I really didn't plan on getting any sales. It was just like, all right, you got to start somewhere.
mhm.
So I put it up and I think she saw it because I added my shoes to a thread on Twitter of like supporting art businesses. I added it to a thread that day. I got the
Tough. Shout out Art
notification.
Twitter.
Shout out Art Twitter. And I was like, what the hell? Like I did a little dance. I was like, no way. Like that was just such a good feeling. And then I finally got in touch with her this week because she DM'd me on Twitter and she like sent me a pic of her and then she like, these are my new favorite shoes, whatever. I was like, this is the coolest feeling ever.
Definitely
Like,
show the shoes again. Like,
these are the shoes, guys.
very, very
If you can
tough.
see them, but these are my babies.
It's a couple seconds.
I
behind. It's gonna pop up.
I wanna do a lot more, but
It's tough.
there it is. Yeah. These are my babies.
I have to start segmenting like parts of the podcast so I can post it.
Okay, cool.
I'm just like,
I have a friend that's sending me shoes this week. I gotta put some anime characters on his shoes, which I've never done before, but he asked, I said yes, so to be continued.
I'm glad you're still like doing that. Like,
Yeah.
or you said you're doing that because I was gonna ask after. Like, I can't find them in stores, so I realized you have to order the Air Forces.
You do.
But I need custom pants, which hopefully Lexinese is still down to do. Shout out
I've
Lexinese.
seen a couple of her stuff. She's tough.
I really hope she I'm like long legs, so
I can probably ask her this, but do you know what kind of paint she uses? I feel like acrylic, right?
It's acrylic paint.
How does it not like crack?
I feel like
She's onto something. Yeah.
We're on the live.
It's acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Probably should recall after.
Yeah, because when I painted on clothes, I used acrylic and then I used fabric paint. And the fabric paint was just too thin, like it didn't take well. But we got more people.
I'm trying to see if I said these. Beth said, "I'm grateful for the times I've been humbled too."
Yeah.
Lindsay said, "Yes, humbleness is the door to expansion." So
that's my best friend. Yeah,
Lindsay?
She said humbleness is the door to expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Lindsay. That's my soulmate for real.
Beth already also said, "Right on, Lindsay."
Who said that?
Beth. She said, "Right on, Lindsay." After that. Sprout wants to know why the kid before Carol.
Why the kid before Carol? Because after my freshman year of college, I got in a fight with this girl who was a little older than me.
Fight?
No,
okay,
not a fight. I only was in a fight once, and that was in Las Vegas. That's a whole other story. But I got in a fight with this girl after I dropped. It was after my first year, only year of college. And she was a little older than me, so like her default to piss me off was to call me a kid. She's like, "You're such a fucking kid. You're such a fucking kid." And I'll be like, "Damn, bro, like don't invalidate because I'm younger than you." Because like, I don't know, like I'm not even really one to argue. So I was like, it was just really stupid and childish, and I was like, all right, like whatever, kid, whatever. And then I have a friend from home who makes art, and he like kind of like sneakily combined his last name with another artist's name so it like flows. So like I hope he doesn't mind me saying his last name, but his last name is Piff, like Piff, and he named himself Piffcasso instead of Picasso because he's an artist. And I was like, that's smart as fuck, and it flows really well. So I'm like, what artist? Carol. This bitch is like, call me a kid. I'm like, oh, I love Kid Cudi. Kid Carol, and it stuck. And then I was like, all right, everybody I met was like, yo, that's a good name. So I just gradually got more confident in it. And I was like, all right, this is my name now. Yeah. So 2 influences. One of them was an insult. And the other one was my friend doing that cool shit with his name that I was like, like duality. This makes sense. And Carol.
She took the bad. She took the good.
Yes.
And she made it into.
Yes. Also, I read this book about how like children and like child energy is like the purest form of energy because it's like pure consciousness before they're corrupt. And I was like,
Alchemist?
I know it's called Fear by Thich Nhat Hanh, but I want to read that.
It's like the same concept.
Yes, it's about how like the happiest people are those who are in touch with like their childlike energy, and like you shouldn't lose that. So I was like, it's also good to like just like be okay with like being a kid or like childish, because like that's pure consciousness. Like that is like, just like pure energy, I guess you would say. Like, don't lose that childlike energy. You ever meet somebody that's our age and be like, oh, they have like childlike energy?
Yeah.
That's a compliment. Like,
You know
that's
who-
awesome.
Big first person who comes to mind, big inspiration as well, is Mike B.
Mm-hmm.
Mike B will be the most high, energetic, talkative. He'll share with you. He'll be ready to talk to you about what you want to talk about, and
Mm-hmm.
in the moment type person.
High energy gives you like all of his attention in that moment. Like,
And it's like, and it's there. Like, it's not like he's like forcing it up. It feels as though he naturally just has to get all that energy out. And like, I will definitely say, when you talk about like childlike energy, like genuine energy is the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes, one of the first people I think of. Shout out Mike B. Shout out my friend Leah too. That's who I think of too. She's a basketball player from my college from freshman year. I always tell her she has childlike energy, and like she needs to take that as a compliment. Like,
the energy is genuine. Like, the concept behind it is like, you don't think twice about what you want. Like, when you're a kid, you're like, I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
In that moment, what is that kid thinking is going to prevent him from being an astronaut? What does he have to think about? No real life shit yet. But the world nowadays, it kind of like starts putting those hurdles there purposely. It's like, hey, just in case you thought you could just do that, you have to do this.
Yes.
And you have to do this.
There's definitely molds that are set out there that I feel like artists are the ones that like jump through the loops and like make it out of the maze, because there are molds that are put out for us. And I feel like society's kind of wired that like if you don't follow these or fit into these molds, like what the hell are you doing? Like,
they basically try to make it out to sound like you'll fail.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you don't fit the mold, it's like, oh, well, we don't know what's going to happen to you, so presume the worst.
That was Catholic school too for me. Like, you had to fit a certain mold, and like even down to like what freaking lunchbox you had, like dumb shit. Like, you had to literally fit this like picture perfect mold, and if you didn't, it was just like, oh, like who are you? Like, it was just like a toxic environment to try to grow in.
Yeah, my photographer was telling me about the Catholic school life, and it was almost like,
it's weird.
Yeah, I don't want to like bash Catholic schools. I don't know if anyone
I'll
listening
bash
goes there.
Catholic schools.
I didn't personally go through it, so I don't want to start bashing people's schools. But from what he told me, it's
a lot of the time
it's
it's
like
very
nutty.
toxic. Like, you're telling kids in some of the most developmental stages of their lives, when they're in like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, that if they do X, Y, or Z, like they will go to hell.
Yeah.
What? No, that is terrible for the like mind, because then like it stems into like guilt in your adult life, because like these are your influences, these are your teachers telling you this. Like, that's some bullshit. And I'm not shitting on the Catholic religion. Like, I still keep in touch with a part of my faith to some degree, but I think the church itself is also really corrupt, because a lot of the people that are like in positions of power, especially at my school, like were on bullshit. Just like, I can go on and on, but we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I bet the difference between the personal experience and just hearing it, like,
What's that?
Yeah, are one of you guys commenting under M Cubed right now? Sprout, are you commenting right now? You're commenting under the M Cubed. Stop. Stop.
I'm like, what is that?
I never seen like M Cubed comment, so I was over here like, oh, what is this special thing? I'm over here thinking it's like a donation or something.
Yo, you know how I was talking about how everyone's a creative being?
Yeah.
My mom gonna text me, your mama isn't a creative being. Yes, you are.
What?
You are a creative being. Everybody.
Don't limit yourself. You're unlimited. You're limitless.
Yes.
You're everything.
You are. You are.
Ooh, all right. So we are hitting the time frame that I like to make it. So is there anything you would like to share to all your supporters who came out, which was a lot of people, everyone who chatted and everyone didn't, you're all appreciated for being here live. This will be posted again.
Yes, and all the people I shouted out. If you weren't here for it, I'm just gonna shout you out again, because you mean a lot to me. So
Go ahead, do it.
Shout out my fellow creatives,
Go
like
crazy.
everybody at the Laugh House. Shout out Lindsey Vaughn. Shout out Dean. Shout out my roommates. Love Issa and Kat. I can't wait to come up with these girls. Like, I'm really in a house full of creatives. And even beyond that, I've been blessed to connect with so many more. So I'm just really grateful. Shout out you. Shout out them. You know, like, seriously, you know, it's just like, I love the web of creativity that I've been caught in. And like, I'm just excited to keep going, you know, all good things.
All good things.
Mhm.
All good things. I gotta say,
And I'm about to do a spring drop, so stay tuned for that. So, you know,
definitely staying tuned. I'm gonna drop links to your website, your Instagram, and everything under this as well. So if you're paying attention, you want to see her website, you want to see her gear, you want to see her art Twitter,
mhm.
art Twitter following yourself.
Yes.
All the links will be in the
Shout
description.
out Art Twitter. Shout out Nina. Shout out Bebop. Oh, I could go on. Shouldn't me. Shout out everybody. Yeah. Art Twitter.
I really
sure.
appreciate you coming on here.
I appreciate you asking me. I've been looking forward to this all week. This was one of my only days off, and I was like, I'm gonna do something that I really love, and like, I'm just grateful, you know.
And it's like, thank you again. I'm geeking about it because I'm finally glad that it happened, because you were actually one of the first people I thought about reaching out to when I was first starting, because I was like, wow, like, who do I want to talk to and like learn about more? You were definitely one of the first people, but I thought, like, all right, let me get the reins first. Let me like feel this out. So I told you, like, all right, can you come not this Friday, like the next Friday?
Yeah.
So I really, really appreciate you making the time and coming out and
I'm
talking on the
excited.
podcast.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Bye, guys. I appreciate everybody coming out. The official version will be up in about 2 days, edited.
Shout out M Cubed.
And yeah, stay tuned for the next Cube Talk podcast. Next week, we have another very special guest that I will not name live, but you'll see him throughout the week. And yeah, till next time.
Till next time. Bye, guys.
You got the N, T? Got that N button?
I feel like an influencer ass bitch.
Yeah. I want to do like a Nardwar thing where it's like doop, but I don't want to like sit there and freeze and then be like, that's the end.
Dude, it's so cool that people know how to edit videos too, like what Shino does. That's so fucking cool.
And just the fact that he gets better. Like,
keeps getting better.
Everything. When I first met him, it was 2 years ago, and I was at a studio in Glasgow. It was actually the Rowan studio, like a Rowan studio. And he showed me the pop music video. You ever seen it?
And that's with
Jody and